All right, as you can tell, game's still going on. End of the 8th inning, though, and I've got to leave for work in less than 20 minutes, so I want to keep this short, and that's why I'm doing this now, because I wanted to at least get a reaction out there. Maybe I'll go live. I think I'll go live tonight at some point, hopefully 9 o'clock-ish. Um, and that can be more of like a question and answer session with you guys in the audience. I can give some thoughts on the series, but just wanted to give my initial thoughts here just so you have it for now. Until then, because I can't do a show right after this game. So 6-0. Reese Olson dominated. I counted before going on here 9. I thought it was more, but not including the Tyler Wade sack bunt, 9 ground ball outs. This game started, the Padres' downfall in this game started first inning, where you had Tatis on second base. By the way, extended his on base streak to now a career high 24 games. So good for him. But he was on second base and he steals third when Xander's up at the plate. There was 2 outs in the inning. When you have one of your better hitters that's healthy in the lineup, just let him hit. First inning, don't get thrown out at third base. And I think it was Matt Scraby tweet something like, if we're going to praise and we're going to love the aggressive base running, we can't criticize when it doesn't end up working out. Something like that. I'm not quoting him, but something like that. To me, there's a difference between aggressive base running and dumb base running. For me, that was dumb base running. Like, maybe Tatis will say post game that he saw something there, and most of the time I'm like, yeah, if you get thrown out, you get thrown out. But that one didn't even look close. And again, when you have 2 outs in the first inning with a runner in scoring position, you have Kyle Hart on the mound, by the way. You might want to just try to take as many runs as you can. And if it's 1 run in the first inning, then that's great. So I know it's obviously easy for me to say when it doesn't work out, but I would have not taken third base there. Even when I'm Fernando, I'm not going to try to take third base there when you got 2 outs and you're already in scoring position. Your speed, a single will score you. You're good. So didn't like that. And then Kyle Hart, overall, I thought he was good today. He made a couple of mistakes, gave up those 2 home runs. Javi Baez to lead off the game, right? And then who was the other one too? It was a meatball. Justin Henry Malloy. Never heard of this guy, but it was a ball right down the middle. I have a screenshot on my Twitter at Talking Friars. Yeah, not great. But I don't want that to take away from the outing. Like, it was a rough start, but I do want to give props to Kyle Hart for doing his job. Like, he did do his job. I know it says 6-0 right now, top of the 9 on this scoreboard here, but he did do his job. His job as the last guy in this rotation, essentially, is to keep the Padres in the game. And maybe his job was to keep it 0-0 today because this Padres offense wasn't able to do anything. But 2-0 game, as Kyle Hart, like, that is sort of doing your job. Did he want to go longer? Do you want to have not as rough as the beginning of the first inning? Yeah. But he only gave up 1 run in that inning. Ruben Niebla goes out there. Sometimes I feel like we may give too much credit to a Ruben Niebla mound visit, and then boom, it fixes it and he gets out of an inning. The pitcher does have to execute. So, props to both sides there, I guess. Kyle Hart did execute. What I noticed there was he went to, I forget if it was the slider or whatever, sweeper, whatever it was, went to that, and it was good pitches there on outside part of the plate. I think it was low and outside on one of them. But in that first inning as well, on those base runners, sometimes it was a good pitch. Like that single, I want to say it was by Ibanez, maybe. The first inning single, that pitch was low and outside on the corner, and it was off the end of the bat, and the power of Ibanez, it goes into the outfield. Like, sometimes that's just going to happen. So for those that weren't watching the game, I think you should maybe go back and look at it a little bit. Just realize that I don't think Kyle Hart pitched that bad today. He settled down again after that first inning. In that first inning, let me go through that here. It was obviously the home run to Baez, or excuse me, not why did I say Baez? I keep confusing Baez and Torres. Gleyber Torres with the homer, 1-0 there, but then single. Yeah, it was Ibanez. Where that was, to me, that was a good pitch, but ends up being a single. Walk to Torkelson, mound visit, and then he gets McKinstry to strike out. Dylan Dingler, what a name that is, by the way, gets him to strike out as well. So gets out of it. And then after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row there. Single, gets out of the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then gave up that 1 home run, and that was the end of the outing, right down the middle. So not many mistakes. I didn't think Kyle Hart made many mistakes today. and he was it. Like, I give props to him doing his job, in my opinion. The offense got to be better. My opinion, him keeping the Padres in the game, which is what he did. The offense, though, a lot of ground ball outs. What I saw, like I said, I think I mentioned this already. 9 ground ball outs. Yeah, 9 ground ball outs going into this ninth inning here. I think Gurriel just struck out. But yeah, 9 ground ball outs. And they had a couple of opportunities. That first inning, obviously, like Tatis gets thrown out. There's a runner in scoring position. But I want to say it was the third inning. No, what inning was it? Iglesias was the fourth. No, it was the third. Yeah. Iglesias gets on, Wade with the sack bunt. And so now you're looking at, okay, you got a runner in scoring position with 1 out, but you have Maldonado up at the plate. It's not Tatis. I know maybe there it's like, all right, let's get it to Tatis however we can. But Maldonado wasn't able to get on there. And then Tatis grounds out. He wasn't happy with the home plate umpire because it was a bad call the previous pitch. That made it to 2 strikes. So Tatis had to protect. And there you go. Sometimes you're going to get shut down. You just are. I think the game just ended. Connor Joe was pinch hitting. Yeah, Gurriel struck out. Mason McCoy was pinch hitting. Why? I'm sorry. Matchups or not, I'm not putting Mason McCoy in there when we're down 6-0 to pinch hit for Gavin Sheets. Come on. Oh, and then Connor Joe pinch hit for me. So that was the Padres just giving up that game. That's what that was. Off day tomorrow. Not the biggest fan of giving up those at-bats there in the ninth. I'm not saying they were going to come back. Like, I didn't have much faith that they were going to come back, as optimistic as I am. But yeah, don't love that. But yeah, just a lot of ground ball outs. I know you got to give credit to Reese Olson for getting those ground ball outs. And it's weird. I feel like there's some games every season where it's like, yeah, they were aggressive and they just kept grounding out and quick outs, quick innings. And it's like, be patient. But at the same time, we're going to sit here and say, don't swing at a good pitch. If it's a good pitch, we want you swinging. Maybe it's the first pitch of the at bat, but if it's a good pitch and that's the best pitch you're going to get the entire at bat, sometimes you just pop it up. Sometimes you just roll it over. And that's what happened a little bit today. Could they have been a little bit more patient? Probably. So this is a series loss now by the Padres against the Tigers. And they ended up going, 2-4? No, 3 and it was a 6-game series, right? They took one. Yeah, 2-4, sorry, because they only won 1 game in Houston, 1 game against Detroit. Yeah, 2-4. Obviously not good enough on the road trip, but we got to consider the circumstances. Arise gets out in that last game in Houston. Hayward, Lockridge, Crony, Merrill. Who am I forgetting? Obviously the pitching. They were in this game until, there were some mistakes made there, with the home run late. It was 2-0 at one point, but, the offense, you're not going to win a game when you can't score a run. So frustrating for sure, but now they get to come back home. Glad that they won the Nick Pivetta start, because if they didn't do that, that would have been a terrible series. Disappointing, but I don't think we can say it's a terrible series when you're down that many guys and you had a good Pivetta outing. And I thought Kyle Hart kept you in the game, but just offensively, Reese Olson was on it today. I wanted to make myself feel better by going to the Reese Olson game logs on Baseball Reference during this outing and be like, oh, he's not really struggling, right? Well, or excuse me, he's been pitching really good. Maybe that was going to make me feel better. Not really. Sure, his last outing against the Royals, it was good. I think he didn't allow any runs, but the outings before that, he allowed 4 runs and a couple of runs. Didn't go extremely long. And today, how many innings did he go? 7, I think? 7 and a third, and then they went to their closer, Canely, to get, because that was really the save in that situation, because then the Tigers blew it open. One of those days, 17-8 still. It was huge for them to get off to that great start this season. And yeah, I'll probably go live tonight, hopefully. But yeah, just wanted to give some reaction to this. Social media is probably going to be overreacting. I did see it during the game about, oh, this offense and all that. This is going to happen to probably every team in baseball. Maybe not the Dodgers, but maybe. Where it's going to be a day game. First game of the series, they get in at 4 a.m. and you have Randy Vasquez on the mound. And then today, day game in Detroit, you have a starting pitcher on the other side who is on his game. You've got Kyle Hart on our side. Sometimes that's just going to happen. And it's not like the Tigers are a terrible team. I think they'll contend for their division. And again, being 17-8, maybe some fans will be super pissed off about this game and super pissed off about this series. But for me, when their record's 17-8, it's hard for me to get too pissed off about a series loss in Detroit when they're down 3 of their core 6 guys in that lineup. 2 of the starters were Vasquez and Hart in this series. Still won the Pavetta game. Yeah. Terso, I mean, it was kind of like the Padres' luck today. Like Terso, well, I don't want to make it seem like the Padres deserved to win this game because they didn't, but Terso smacked the ball late, and Javi Baez, who's playing center field, he goes on it was not the best route, but he makes the catch near the warning track, on the warning track. That ball was crushed, and that ball would have went out in over 50% of the ballparks, but not out at Comerica. There was like almost nothing that was going to be going out at Comerica Park to center field or in the gaps in this series. From what I remember, the home runs were to left field. Like Diaz yesterday, there were some today. It just wasn't going to go out. So hopefully Tirso will be able to get his first hit, during this homestand in San Diego. That'll be a cool moment. And yeah, I thought it was weird. Oscar robbed a homer in right field, Oppo, but then he struggled on the ball down the line and slipped in right field and then threw it in and to Iglesias, who wasn't technically the cutoff man, at least to home plate. He was the cutoff man to second base. But I guess I understand Oscar just trying to get the ball in and not, going to first base there because he probably thinks I'm in the corner. I'm not going to be able to get anyone at home. They almost did. But yeah, I know kind of my thoughts are all around the place, but, a disappointing day. But again, I feel like this is something that's going to happen to every team in baseball. Still disappointing, but I'm not going to be losing sleep over this series or this road trip. You want to go 500 at least on road trips, but with the start the Padres had, 2-4, it's not the end of the world.